What's good, y'all? My name is Darius, and I would like to welcome you to the Revamp 101 in Warframe. In this series of videos, I want to teach you about the various things this game has to offer. If you haven't done so, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for any and all updates. And as usual, I will also have a resource down in the description box below. With that done, let's get right into it. In this video, I want to explain some things about one of the key resources that confuse newer players. This resource is known as mods. In my budget build guide, I explained about the beginning mods that will make things a bit easier when you first pick up a weapon. Now I'm going to speak much deeper into how they actually function. As you know, there's a bunch of different stats in this game, and each of these stats affect how a weapon behaves. To get a clear understanding of what weapon specializes in what, unequip every mod you have on it and take a good look at its stats. I also mentioned this in a previous video in a budget build guide as well. At this time, I will explain a little bit of backstory about this. In the beginning, there was 4 mod rarities: bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. The first 3 you can get through killing enemies, mission rewards, and event rewards. Now there's actually more ways to get it as well. Platinum, on the other hand, could only be obtained through special means or extremely rare drops. That actually changed over time, and now the only way you can get these platinum mods is through a Barrel K tier who visits the relay every 2 weeks. Fast forward some years, and we have Riven, Galvanize, Amalgam, and Nightmare mods. Also, I forgot to mention, we also have Corrupted mods as well. These are special in that you get them through various means. I will not be mentioning flawed mods, as they are just inferior versions of the actual mods that you will have overall. Now, let me go through the categories of the mods themselves. Standard mods. These are primarily the ones you will be collecting. They affect your gear immediately after equipping. In other words, mods such as Serration, any of the elemental mods, stuff like that. These will basically affect the weapon immediately after equipping. Gold mods have a yellow pillar of light that lets you know their rarity. Others will have a standard glow to them. Stance mods. These mods are exclusive to melee weapons. These modify the attack pattern of the weapon that you are using and the combos they have. They also increase the skill points of the melee weapon that you are using. In other words, skill points is also drained for this, but I would be saying them as skill points as it's much easier to explain.
That's it. You opened the relic.
In mission, they are color-coded blue with a pillar of light, similar to gold mods. Aura mods, exclusive to Warframes. These mods give your Warframe an immediate buff to various passive abilities such as increased health, melee damage bonus, or energy regeneration. These mods do stack, as multiple players can use the same one for a bigger bonus. Aura mods affect the entire squad, not just you. Primed mods. These are extremely powerful mods that are a variant of the standard mods themselves. They have a telltale sign of being brightly colored and have the name primed in their name as well. On top of that, they also cost the most as they rank up to rank 10. Nightmare mods. These can be received from normal drops or nightmare missions. In nightmare missions, they're guaranteed to drop. Since you can do nightmare missions, there's, I believe, 1 nightmare mission for every planet, meaning you can get a lot of them. These mods have some powerful stats as they have 2 stat increases instead of just 1. These are great for when you want additional damage or additional benefits. This is also key to high damage builds as well. Riven mods. These mods are exclusive to weapons that they have mentioned on them. What really makes these unique is that these special mods can be re-rolled using the Kuva resource, which you get from Kuva Siphon missions. It's not guaranteed what type of stats you will get on it, but it's recommended to go for ones that complement what makes the weapon powerful. So in other words, if a weapon has high puncture damage, you want to make sure that you roll for a high puncture stat for the weapon itself. Do note that Riven disposition changes every Prime update as to keep the game relevant and to keep the weapons balanced. So remember, every Prime update, the Riven disposition always changes from 1 to 5. One being it has a weak disposition, meaning it won't increase the stats as much. It will basically be bad for it, and 5 meaning that will increase the stats to its absolute maximum, which means that it will overclock the weapon itself. Corrupted mods. Corrupted mods can only be received from doing corrupted vaults on Deimos in regular missions, and they have a special door which needs a special vault key to unlock. You can get these special vault keys from your clan's dojo. You can get them from your clan's dojo. I forget exactly where you get them from, but that's exactly where you get them.
That's it. You opened the relic.
These are extremely powerful mods that have some of the highest bonuses in the game, but they also come with a decrease in another stat. These are good for limit breaking weapons and for high level builds as well. Just keep in mind that you will sacrifice another stat, so the best course of action is to find a mod that offsets the decrease to make it relevant. So in other words, if you have a mod that increases damage but decreases something such as accuracy, you want to make sure that you have a mod that increases your accuracy at the same time something else. Or if you have a mod that increases something else and it decreases fire rate, make sure you have a mod that increases fire rate to offset that. There are mods that do stuff like that, so experiment around and see what works best for you. Galvanized mods. These can only be traded by using a special resource called Vitus Essence gathered from arbitrations. These special mods are conditional in that you need to kill enemies to activate their effects. Stat increases do show on the base increase when equipping these, but they don't show when you get kill bonuses for these mods themselves. Each kill you make applies a stack equal to what the mod gives you. Instead of completely voiding the stack, as in if you have a stack of 3 and the time runs down, it will completely void the stack. It won't do that. It will only remove 1 stack for the time left on it. Kills reset the timer when maxed out. So for example, if you have a galvanized mod that increases status chance, that stacks up to 3 times, it will increase the status chance up to 3 times. When it increases up to 3 times, the timer will begin to tick down. When the timer ticks down, it will remove 1 stack, which means the stacks are still active, but its effect, or in other words, its stat is reduced by 1 stack. If you kill an enemy, or you kill any type of enemies, the stack will increase by 1. And if the timer ticks down, if you kill an enemy before it ticks down, the timer will refresh itself and you will still keep the bonus. Augment mods, exclusive to Warframes. These are earned by using standing for the various syndicates. I will also explain syndicates at a later date as well. These affect Warframe abilities and change how they work. Some Warframe abilities may not change at all. For example, Necros' ability augment, which is despoil, lets him use health instead of energy to generate additional drops. In most cases, augment mods may help or hinder certain frames for certain builds. So, like I said before, for Necros, instead of him just using energy to constantly generate drops, he will use health to generate drops. Which means if he uses health to generate drops, and enemies drop, additional health, he'll have the ability active indefinitely until his health runs down, or he deactivates the ability. Exilus mods, or Exilus mods. These are a bit special since they bestow passive effects, such as slide distance, run speed, or gives weapons unique features when equipped. Pretty straightforward. In other words, if you have a mod that increases, aim glide distance, that's what it will do. It will increase your aim glide distance to a point where you can aim glide for much longer before you drop out of the air. Or in other cases, it will increase your sprint speed, in which your Warframe will move much faster. That's basically what these affect. There is a spot exclusive for Exilus style mods, which is in the Warframe, which will be right next to the aura mod slot. You'll see it also has a special emblem itself. You'll see it when you see it. Parazon mods. These affect skills for when you hack consoles, mercy kill enemies, or other things. Not much going on right here, but the Parazon does affect something much more important, which is Requiem mods. These special mods can only be received from Requiem relics. They are used to vanquish Kuvaliches and Sisters. You can change these in the paradigm as well. More on how these work much later. Now, for a little Q&A, since there will be some various questions about how mods react to different things and whether you can use certain mods in conjunction with others. Now, question 1. Can I equip 2 of the same mod? No, you can't equip 2 of the same mod, i.e. you can't equip 2 vitality mods even if they are 2 different levels. In other words, if you try to equip a vitality mod that isn't level and another vitality mod that's mid-level and another one that's max level, you can only equip one of those. Next question. I have a prime mod and a regular mod of the same name. Can I equip them both? Nope. Just like mentioned before, they are treated as the same mod, only a different color. In other words, if you have vitality, actually for example, if you have vigor and primed vigor, you can only choose either vigor or primed vigor to use. So in other words, you can't equip vigor and you can't equip primed vigor since they are treated as the same mod, just 2 different flavor colors. Next question. Is it possible to stack mods that increase the same stat but have different stats? Surprisingly, it depends. For example, if you have the mods Serration and Heavy Caliber, you can equip them both and get the 165% damage bonus from Serration, plus the 150% damage bonus from Heavy Caliber, which will equal up to 315% damage bonus. However, you will still get the negative 50% accuracy decrease due to Heavy Caliber's negative stat bonus. In other words, since Serration just increases base damage, which is 165%, you can equip Heavy Caliber, which increases your damage stat again by 150%, but it has to decrease in accuracy by 50%. So in other words, since there are 2 different mods and have 2 different stat styles, you can equip them both. But you can't equip Serration or Amalgam Serration or anything like that, because they're treated as both, Serration style mods. One just increases your base damage, the other one increases your base damage and your sprint speed. So again, if you guys do have questions, be sure to leave any comments down below, and I will get around to it as well. Now in closing, between all of the mods in the game and having a finite number of slots to use, it can be daunting to figure out which would work for you. One key way, and again I'll reiterate this, is to de-equip every mod on your chosen weapon and look at its stats. It helps to build from there. Also, even if a mod might be useless on one weapon, it could make another much more powerful in the right hands. Again, for example, accuracy mods may not be powerful on shotguns if you get in their face, so accuracy mods will be basically useless on them if you can just get in front of them, because every single pellet is going to hit them and you're going to kill them instantly.
If the wardens detect you, they will surely initiate the execution sequence.
That's all for now. Just remember to study which each mod affects, and it will become much easier to deal with high level enemies. Until then, I'll catch you guys later.